Aiden's behind you. We do, barely. Form's actually 9.
Really? We only have 16.
Technically.
I run.
I have to pound the gavel first, technically. Live stream, we all good? Camera crew? All right. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Start with the roll call, please.
Cody?
Here.
Ian?
Excused.
Nadine? Here. Jared? Here. Trish? Here. Emma? Here. Linnea? Izzy? Here. Ben?
Here.
Michael?
Here.
Nicholas?
Next times. Not here.
Sam?
Here.
Cameron? Taylor? Travis? Sandy?
Yeah, here.
Yep. Kamal. Sebastian.
Excused.
Austin.
Here.
Dylan.
Excused.
Bob.
Also excused.
Chris.
Here.
Danny.
Reason.
Marcus.
Awesome, thank you. We will now proceed to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will now ask to hear a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve minutes?
Second.
All right, with that, the minutes are approved. We'll move on to guest speakers. Today we have our student trustee member, Anna Crisp. You can come up front or stand or whatever's comfortable for you.
I can come up front.
All right.
Hi everyone. If you haven't yet met me yet, my name's Anna Crisp. I serve as the student trustee and I'm really excited to work with you guys. I'm on your email list, so if you ever need to reach out to me for any reason, I get my emails to my phone and I'm probably more likely to respond to that because I can mark those as unread, whereas if I read my text, I kind of forget about them. Cody could attest to that. I forgot about him the other day. Sorry about that. Okay, so we had a committee meeting yesterday, and I wanted to update you guys on the different committees just briefly. For clinical affairs, one of the things I wanted to touch on was the reduced hospital-acquired infections by 51%. I'm sure you guys have seen that in your emails, but that's something that we're really promoting for UTMC and our employees there. Some things for the financial committee are what I really wanted to focus on. I thought you guys would be interested in. Enrollment, if you're not already aware, there's been an $11 million shortfall in the approved budget. Is that something you guys were aware of? Yeah, okay. So we're creating ways to accommodate for that, of course, but definitely wanting student feedback during this whole time as well. We've created kind of a dashboard for different statistics going about every kind of 6-year groupings. Some positive things, I'll talk about the positive things and then the negative things. Usually I like to do it the other way around, but that way we can work with the negative things. So positive things, our retention rate actually increased from 70% to 72% within the past year. And that's saying a lot because those two little percentages, that takes a lot to get those to move up. So I think that's really good. Our freshman average ACT was a 23, which is the highest it's been in the past 6 years. So that's great. Also, the freshman average high school GPA was a 3.34, which is also the highest it's been in 6 years. 83.4% of students last year rated their experience at UT as good or excellent. That's great too. 35.4% of classes have less than 20 students, less than 2, oh gosh, that'd be terrible, huh? Less than 20 students. Only 12% of classes have greater than 50 students, and that's the lowest it's been in the past 6 years as well. So those are the good things. Now the bad things. Freshman enrollment, undergraduate enrollment, graduate enrollment, number of degrees awarded, and graduate rates are all down. And each one of those things are the lowest that it's been in the past 6 years. Degree completion is also at a 41.5%, which is something that's reported in the U.S. News and World Reports, and so that's not a very good percentage. Now, some of those things could account to the economy. In 2009, we all know that that wasn't the greatest then, so students could have dropped out. There may have been reasons to go get a job instead of being in school. So that accounts to the percentages as well. But ways to improve, and this is kind of where I wanted to talk to you guys more about that. For financial aid, we need to advocate to our students that there's options for them in the Office of Financial Aid. There's scholarships. There's ways to work on tuition. So if you see at-risk students, and that's mostly in the freshman to sophomore population, kind of that little grouping right there, is when they're considered most at risk for leaving college for whatever reason. Another reason could also be that they just don't feel like they fit. That's where we need to encourage them to get involved in organizations. You guys are aware of the numerous amount of organizations we have here, so just reaching out and encouraging others to get involved. Also, those who may just not be right for college, there are resources such as remedial courses, help at the Writing Center, tutoring, and success coaches. So my advice to you is if you do talk with a student who's thinking about leaving or who you may think is at risk, just encourage them in those ways, and hopefully we can get those stats back up. Does anybody else have any other ideas bouncing off or things like that? I tried to go through it quick. Did I go too quick or just right? We good? I can stop? Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Anna. And that will all be summarized in the minutes, hopefully, if Dakota has it down. And if you guys have any questions, I can provide you with Anna's email, although, as she mentioned, it will probably be included in the group that I send to all you guys. Her and Dan are included in all of our emails. Guest speakers, I believe we don't have any other guest speakers for today. If anyone was wondering when Dr. Gaber, Provost Barrett are going to speak, that's going to be more so in October. So that's just the way it worked out for their schedule. So I know we typically do it towards the start of the session, but if you guys are like looking at meetings that you absolutely don't want to miss, probably in October. We can move on to open floor. Do we have anyone from open floor who would like anything to say? Yes.
Hi everyone. I've been serving as one of the representatives on the homecoming committee, and Cody wanted me to give you guys kind of a report on what's been going on so far. If you didn't know, the theme is Rocket Road Trip, all roads lead back to UT. I'm just going to give you kind of a brief rundown of like what the events are going to be throughout the week. Wednesday, September 30th is the midnight breakfast. Then we're going to have it at my house. Tuesday, we're going to have casino night, and we're going to have a student union. Wednesday, we're having the field day. So hopefully we'll be able to get a pep rally on the football team and everything to happen this day too. As well as a pageant show for all of the nominees. I think we're going to be, the way it kind of breaks down is kind of weird, but I think after so many people have voted for the first round of voting for the homecoming king and queen nominees, there will be like a second round where they'll have to go through this pageant show, and then they'll be rated based on the pageant show to how they're, I guess, going to end up the students. I'll explain more as we get closer to this. But that Thursday, we're having the NPC Town Show. So go to that and support. And then Friday, we're having the food truck lunch. The food truck lunch isn't free, and we'll have to pay for that. Not for sure on what the meal is going to be yet, but going to later. And then obviously on Saturday, there's the homecoming parade with the Blitz. We're looking for volunteers for the casino night. We need people to rotate from different sections of the event to help out, and we're willing to sign up for community service hours if you need them for your organization. But yeah, that's about it. Does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Susie. Yes.
I don't know if any of you guys know, a couple of us in student government are involved with Rockthon's executive board. And this Thursday we're having a committee showcase from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Student Union Room 3020. Or maybe it's in the England room. Okay, it's in the Student Union. What? Okay, well it's in the Student Union, in a room. I'll post it on our page or whatever. But if you want to get more involved on campus, Rockthon's a really good way to do so, and coming to the committee showcase can give you a little bit more information on what each position does, and we'll give you the knowledge you need to know if you want to apply to any of the committees and get more involved with the Rockthon.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything for open floor? Yes.
Do we have a relay for life team? Have we ever had one?
Relay for life.
We've had one for the last couple of years. Sorry.
That's all right. You could answer that better than I could. Do we have anything else for open floor? Okay, I believe we're going to move into, is appointments next? Yes, appointments. So for the first time this year, we're going to actually have appointments. So if I had an interview with you and you've been to 2 meetings, and or if your name's on that list, please come forward and face the Senate. Dum dum.
Oh, at least it's the first name. That's fine. Usually it's the last name. That's cool.
I had them all typed out and they never made it to
You
the
should
agenda.
get in order how your names are appear up there from first to last.
This is a great one for you guys to meet each other.
Cameron, get him over.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
All right, the music has stopped. Is there any people not sitting in that chair? All right. Okay, in front of you we have 7. Hopefully that matches the number. We probably have 8 because of Skaggs. Skaggs will be up for appointment next week, I believe. Also, Mo, the president of CAP, has applied to be a justice and may be up for appointment next week as well. But in front of us we have 7 new members. Some of you may remember that Peachock was a current member, or used to be a current member of student government. And other than that, we can go ahead and get started. What we usually do is we'll start on one end. I'll start with Michael, just because he's probably done it before at one point, and work our way down. Just say a little bit about yourself. We call it the Spark Notes version, because please keep it somewhat condensed. Just go ahead and say a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Peachock. I'm a 4th-year bioengineering student here at UT. In the past, I was an elected senator representing the College of Engineering. I've also been in UTech. For the past 3 years, I've been a resident advisor in A House, McKinnon, Carter, and I House. So I'm pretty active on campus. I'm here because I'm passionate about giving a voice to the student body, and that's something that I want to continue going forward.
Hello, my name is Ishmael Gad. I'm a 1st-year bioengineer. I was a student body president at my high school. I'm really excited to bring my experiences and my skills to UT's student government.
Hello, my name is Cameron Forsyth. I am a 1st-year mechanical engineering student. I am currently the vice president of the 1st-year rocket engineers down in engineering. During high school, I was heavily involved in Boy Scouts, so I got a lot of experience on different executive boards and committees. So I'd like to transfer that knowledge into this organization in order to help make positive changes on campus.
My name is Andrew Brownlee. I am a professional sales and entrepreneurship major. I have a lot of ideas that I would like to say are innovative and a lot of suggestions. I like to work in a team, bounce ideas off of each other, and come up with the best thing possible. In high school, I was the president of DECA. It was like a business fraternity type thing that you would relate to now in college, but I had a fun time doing it there, and I kind of want to bring some new spark here to the team.
Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Carl. I'm an economics major myself. I'm new to UT. I just got here like a few weeks ago. I was in the student council when I was in high school at 3 months. So I really enjoyed being in the student council and being in the student government here would be nice. And I'd like to add to the student government, bring a new perspective.
Hi everybody, my name is Miles Magnus. I was heavily involved in athletics during high school, was captain of my football team. I'm a 1st-year mechanical engineering student here at UT, and I just felt that being a Senate member would be a great tool and put me in a good position to be able to change some things that I noticed around UT and just get involved.
I'm Braden Conley. I'm a 1st-year political science and pre-law major. I was heavily involved in sports, and I was student body president of engineering senior year of high school. I am president of Hall Council for I House, and I'm an exec for Rocket Recess. I just want to try and get as involved as I possibly can throughout the campus, and student government gives me that opportunity, and I want to be able to give a voice to the students.
Thank you, everyone. At this point, we will ask that any current members of student government are now able to ask them any questions. These questions can be addressed to all of them or one person in particular, and we'll do it by a show of hands if anyone has any questions for them. Yeah.
For everyone, you can answer in order like this way. Okay, so like leaders, oh my god, I don't even know how to phrase this question. Oh yeah, I do, okay. So like, what's something you like want to change within UT? Like what's one of the reasons why you want to join student government? Like what do you want to change on campus? Does that make sense as a question? Okay.
What do I want to change?
Yes.
I think as a university, we're facing not an identity crisis, but more so a time to choose who we really are as a campus and as a university. For example, we have a residence hall that's laying vacant. What are we going to do with that? Are we going to tear it down, turn it into a baseball field, as was proposed earlier? I've heard that that plan is no longer on the table, or are we going to tear it down and build another luxury dorm that not a lot of people can afford? In the past, UT has been a place where you go from working class to middle class to long-term prosperity. And I'd like for us to keep that identity and for at least some people in student government to have a seat at the negotiating table where we decide what to do with that property specifically.
Obviously, I've only been at the university for 6 weeks, but one thing or 5 actually, but one thing I've kind of realized is that there's a lot of diversity in this university, there's a lot of international students. What I don't see is those people getting involved on campus, or at least I haven't seen it yet, and I think it's kind of important that as a university we're more inclusive and we start hearing different ideas and different perspectives from people from different backgrounds.
Me being a freshman as well, I haven't really gotten to see everything on campus yet. However, I'd really like to get involved in this organization because I feel it would be a really good thing to be involved in a dynamic organization aimed at making the campus better. And through being a member in student government, I feel like it would assist me in making positive changes that everyone on campus would like.
As a freshman, I realized some problems on campus actually, and one of the big things, there's a short list, but one of the big things is I feel as if the organizations on campus work independently and they should all work together. So by working together, they could all promote one thing, so then it's easier to get the word out. So just kind of like a little thing based off that, like kind of like building a new website or like a tab on the Toledo website. You know, make it look really pretty, so like they would want to go look at it, and you know, give them little surveys and stuff like that, so then they know what would fit their interests. You know, it's a big idea in a short amount of time, but it'll work.
When I first got here, there were many opportunities the first week, and we had lots of things to do. And after like the first week, everything just went down. There's nothing happening on campus. And I feel, because I'm in an international house, that the international students aren't really connected with everybody else. They're in clusters and everything, like the Brazilians, Saudis, and Indians, I think are the most. Because I'm not from their country, I don't have many people from my country, so I'm forced to relate to everybody, so I don't have any particular. I don't stay with people from my country, but I think other people, international students, are like staying, they have their own social units separate from the university. And maybe they need more activities to bring everybody together and have more events.
So I was lucky enough to get involved, actually just went to the first meeting with the Campus Affairs Committee. Really big reason I got involved with student government and started doing this is just walking through campus, you see a lot of minor things that possibly wouldn't take that much money to fix that improve I guess beautifying this campus, Sam had mentioned, is what it's phrased as. So main impact that I hope to have is fixing the small cosmetic issues and making UT a more visually attractive school, helping acquire more students.
As a couple of the guys have already said, mainly just try and get some more students involved in different organizations on campus. There's individual things, like there's RECOF and then there's student government. And then what I want to see is I want to see more people going out for everything, not just necessarily stick with one thing. They get involved in multiple organizations throughout campus. Like I'm getting involved with student government. I'm in Rocket Recess. I'm in Hall Council. I want to try and see more students get involved and have a better college experience through their involvement in multiple organizations.
Well put, gentlemen. Is there any other questions? Yes.
This is for all of you. What experience do you have in writing legislation or, say, with Robert's Rules of Order, essentially how we function as an organization?
My experience is bountiful. I'll leave it at that.
I would have to say that writing specific legislation, I have zero experience. But as far as being involved in speech and debate, back in my high school, I do have experience in analyzing things from multiple perspectives and going in depth and really thinking about the larger picture and the smaller picture at the same time.
I would say that I don't have as much experience as I would like to in writing legislation and the Robert's Rules of Order. However, I feel like I would be more than willing to learn them. In addition, through Scouts, I was actually involved in the Cincinnati area division of the voting board for Scouting's National Honor Society. So through that, I was able to experience how to write different forms that weren't quite legislation, but definitely applied to the category that it would be going in and following different rules.
I would say I have about a school year's worth of experience writing legislation, or at least reviewing it and knowing how it works, because in DECA we had to have some meetings like this every once in a while, and we had to follow a specific code of conduct. So I know how to like follow those types of things and follow the rules and go about how it's supposed to be done. But at the same time, I would like I like change, change for the better at least. So I would try to do, just give some suggestions, because at the end of the day, I'm not the one, actually, making the change. So I just want to do some suggestions, spice some things up a little bit.
I have no experience in writing legislation, but I have experience in reviewing. I had an internship in my country, so National Assembly, for 15 months. I worked with, what do you call them? House of Representatives. Yeah, I worked with someone in House of Representatives, so I worked on legislation and different things, so I understand how it works. And,
I personally have not had any experience yet with writing legislation or reviewing it. I'm very willing to get involved and listen to what you guys have to say and going forward learning.
I have no experience in writing legislation, but I did have an internship in the past year where I would go to my city's council, where they would review legislation, and every so often we would go to the State House to sit in on some House meetings, and that kind of gave me an idea of how to at least review legislation. And I would be more than happy to learn how to write legislation.
Thank you. Any more questions, or do I hear a move to debate? Oh, my apologies. This will be the last question.
All right, this is, well, it's everyone. This is for everyone. At some point, student government can become very busy, whether it's on legislation for the week or whether it's in the committees. And I'd just like to know whether you guys all obviously have the willing time to make sure that you're putting the best in for the students.
Yes. I'm involved, I have a job on campus. I'm involved in a couple other organizations. I'm a brother of Pi Kappa Alpha. I'm also doing a research internship, but I'm more than confident in my ability to, make a contribution to all of those things at once.
I think I have to go on with Michael that I'm also heavily involved in the university, but I do think that's more towards benefit rather than a negative, in the sense that my involvement, I feel like, can really add some value to student government and really give a perspective on things that I'm involved in.
As far as time commitment, as I mentioned earlier, I am the Vice President of the first year Rocket Engineers. I'm also a pledged member of Alpha Phi Omega, and I feel like neither of those will subtract from the time I'm able to devote to student government. And I feel like I'll be able to devote the proper amount of time.
I am also heavily involved on campus, but I feel like you get out what you put in, and the more you put in, the more you can get out. So if there's a lot of work to be done, then the bigger changes that we'll see.
Okay, I'm not really involved in campus yet. The only other thing I'm doing is medicine, but I feel student government is the second most important thing to national academic, so I'll give it all the time.
Yes, I definitely will have time to get involved in student government. I own my own small lawn mowing company, and between academics and that, I have found a way to balance it, and I will have an effort.
Being involved on campus already, I've figured out how to manage my time, and I can easily fit this into my schedule.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to debate? Motion to move to debate.
Second.
Who's second? Would we like them to go in the hall or?
Motion to have them go out in the hall.
Second. Okay.
Objection.
Okay. No grounds.
I was gonna say, are we actually gonna debate this, or are we just gonna approve them all by acclamation? Because if
We're
we're
gonna
actually
debate
gonna
this.
debate, then let's just cut a step. But if people actually want to.
It sounds as though there might be debate, so I'm going to ask the Internal Affairs Chair, Sergeant at Arms, to please escort them outside, please. Simply twice. Okay, we're now open to debate. Please keep all criticism constructive, and remember that we are recorded. Also, I authorize justices to debate, although their opinions they're not allowed to actually vote. So, does anyone have any debate or just general comments? Yes.
I'm going to just say this about Ishmael Gaz. He succeeded me as president of Southview, and I know he has the commitment to do the work necessary. He was also involved with soccer and was the captain at the team at Southview, so I know he will do a very exceptional job.
Yes.
A question.
Okay.
My duties. Am I supposed to write everything we say in here?
I would keep this off the record.
Okay, cool.
Although I don't think it'd be anything bad enough that we could put it on there, but this is kind of medium in regards to the minutes as a whole. Do we have any other debate? You implied that we had debate, so I thought you had something to say.
Well, no, I didn't imply that we had debate, but I feel like as an organization, we need to discuss members who might be joining us before we just finally just vote them in.
Yes, and I'm awaiting the discussion.
No, I know, that's why I was being.
I'm not trying to be rude, I'm being serious. Like if we're gonna send them out in the future, we need to have an actual talk. Yes.
All right. I feel like each of these individuals had qualities of them or to themselves that I can't speak English today. They all did well. I think we should just skip the debate and vote by acclamation. So moved.
Yeah. I like how some of them actually said that they put someone actually literally said they put student government second and schoolwork first. And there's been some members in the past that might have actually had it flipped around. And I think that if you're a student leader, you should definitely put your academics first. So I really like that they actually had that in the back of their mind before.
I like Carl. Carl.
Yes.
Well, since we're having debate, I'm gonna, throw out points for everybody. I'm gonna start with Mike. Mike's been in SG a couple years. He was kind of in and out because he was on co-ops, but he's done some stuff on campus. He kind of spearheaded the effort to implement the smoking ban. He brings a lot to the table experience. As for the rest of them, they're all freshmen. It's always good to get fresh blood in. They all seem like they're qualified to me. All look like they have good ideas, and we should all give them a shot. And we shouldn't be. I think on our questions, and one minor point, then I'll finish. I think our questions, if we're going to ask questions and debate, we should, try to keep our debate to our questions not, less pointed, more open-ended, hey, what do you think about this? Try to find something out, inquisitive questions, and our debate, have substantive debate, and not just this person's a great candidate, this person's a great candidate. It does us no good, it's just a waste of time.
Any other input, any motions?
Should we vote on them before they come back in, or when they're in?
Individually?
We motion and vote before they come back in.
Alright.
Anyone have a motion?
Motion.
Raise your hand.
You can go first.
Yes.
Motion to vote on each one individually,
Second.
but by acclamation.
We can do that. Wasn't anticipating it, but it's totally doable.
Just by acclamation. Just by
I
acclamation.
guess then it would be, okay, just by acclamation.
Yeah.
Even easier. Okay, we will start from the top and proceed our way down. Have your attention, please. Yes.
Motion to vote, motion to approve Mike Peacock by acclamation.
We already have a motion to do all of them, so Yeah, you guys can sit down. Actually, I'm gonna have you guys come forward again. Sorry about the circus. Now, should I do them all by one or all at once, or? Yes.
Mr. President, motion to approve or have them take the oath all at once.
Take the oath. Are you gonna plan if they all got in? Because all of you guys got in, so great job, guys. I'll have you guys stay standing for a few more minutes as I have you guys recite the oath as performed by Associate Chief Justice and Acting Chief Justice Austin Stern.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To uphold the Student Government Constitution.
To uphold the Student Government Constitution.
And the University of Toledo Student Code of Conduct.
And the University of Toledo Student Code of Conduct.
And that I fully understand.
And that I fully understand.
The duties of this position.
The duties of this position.
And what it entails.
And what it entails.
And will to the best of my ability.
And will to the best of my ability.
Represent the students of the University of Toledo.
Represent the students of the University of Toledo.
Congratulations.
Oh, Austin, why don't you take time to shake all of their hands at once?
Well, I'm gonna do the same. Congrats, guys. Next week I'll have the student government pins, and you guys see here, and all of you guys will be entitled to some of them. And eventually we'll have all the legislation for the Constitution, bylaws, and handbook ready for you. With that, you guys can be seated and can now participate as normal members. I can just make a decision in place. Okay, we're now moving into reports. Internal affairs. Nadine?
So, first thing is we have to make a few revisions on the handbook before we send it to binding, so hopefully we should get that in the next week or so. And for the new senator initiation, because we just got a bunch of new members, I was thinking that we do it after one of our Tuesday meetings, potentially October 13th, so you guys can keep that in mind. It would just be a little while after the meeting we meet. And also, for whoever joins my committee, we'll talk more about this, but we're going to have another faculty senate dinner, and it's going to be probably in November, either probably before Thanksgiving break. And we need to have invitations out by the beginning of October, so I just kind of wanted to get a show of hands what evenings people are free the most before I pick a date. So it'll be between Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So maybe 5 seconds, and then we'll do a raise of hands. If you can make it, you can raise your hand more than once of what days that you can meet. It would be at 7 p.m. So Mondays.
What days again?
Or Thursday, sorry. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the days that you are available, after 7 p.m. or maybe 6:30, 7 p.m., then raise your hand. So Monday. Okay. Wednesday. And Thursday. Okay. All right, that's all I have. I'll get back to you more about that. And if you want to be in my committee, you guys need to, by the way, the members, you guys need to kind of pick a committee today. You guys can meet.
External affairs.
Hello, everyone. Not a lot to talk about this week. Some stuff my committee's working on. We're going to have a social media drive, either October, November, more than likely November. And with that is going to be, we're going to have people like us follow us on social media and put their name in a drawing. It'll be a month long. Put their name in a drawing, and they'll win a prize pack. And it's going to be UT winterize things, so get a UT blanket. If certain things happen, maybe quarter zip. We have SG mugs, just cold weather UT stuff. So that you'll get more information about that when it comes. Tabling, I sort of made a little tabling care package package type thing where it has like all the stuff you need to table, so giveaways, cards, information about SG. So whenever you're tabling, like if you're the first ones to do it, that is in the office. And Trish will cover tabling in her speech, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And finally, this week is inauguration week for President Gaber. So a few events to keep in mind. Most importantly, is tomorrow, student government is holding an inauguration reception dinner for Dr. Gaber. That will be at 7:30 in the Eaton Room, and we would really appreciate it if you all could come. Dr. Gaber will be there, so you get to meet her, talk to her a little bit. She gets to see your beautiful faces at 7:30.
Yep.
So there's that. On Thursday, there's the President's Barbecue on Centennial Mall. And then Friday is the big day. The inauguration is in Savage Arena, and it starts at 3 p.m. And student government is strongly encouraging all of you to go. And on that note, in case you haven't been made aware, all classes starting at and after 1 p.m. on Friday are canceled. So, that's all. The inauguration is in Savage. And if you want to join my committee, we do a lot of PR stuff, tabling, we help with the survey, just getting SG's name out there, making people like us. If you want to join my committee, let me know after the meeting. We currently meet Wednesdays at noon, but that time is up to change. So, with that,
thank you. Student.
Let's make this short. So this week's question has to do with Dr. Gaber's inauguration. It's basically like, what are you expecting out of your new president? I'm going to send around a sheet for tabling tomorrow, 10 to 2. If you can sign up for an hour, that'd be great, because it's a requirement for you to do it once a month. So you should do it. But otherwise, it's on SurveyMonkey, which I will be posting on our Facebook page, which if you guys will add one of exec on Facebook, we can add you to the Facebook page if you were just appointed tonight. And last thing is, if you're wanting to join my committee, please meet with me afterwards. We are going to be meeting Tuesdays at 7 p.m. in the student gov office.
Question.
Is tabling a requirement just for the committee or for the whole student?
For everyone in student government, but just once a month. And this month, we'll have a table this week and next week, but starting in October, it'll be the first and third Wednesdays of the month. Because they don't let you book tables every week anymore, so, yeah.
Thank you. Finally, campus.
Today, Campus Affairs met for the first time. It's pretty nice. We discussed a lot of things, plans and ideas. Highlights include a McKinnon Corner pod to aid everyone in HAV, McKinnon, Tucker, Wolf Hall, Bowenati, and commuting students. Long story short, if you want to join my committee, come talk to me. Newbies, I only have 2 of you so far. If you want to get stuff done on campus, come talk to me. You're allowed to chance. Tuesdays at 4, SG office. Thank you. Go Bulldogs.
Thank you. SJC.
2 short things tonight. One, obviously the oath that you heard tonight is universal, set in stone oath. We went through like 4 last year. So just wanted to point that out. The second thing is that SJC had a meeting tonight before the general meeting tonight. And for the new members, you'll be hearing about it a lot more come the semester, but we discussed the election board manual, and that is going to be taken up over the process of the next month to be finished and finalized so that we're not in the same boat as we were last year and years prior. One thing on it, it's the ultimate goal that SJC is trying to provide is that it's set in stone over the next few years, and that the dates are only going to be the thing to change, so that we're not rushing through it. You guys will be informed. We'll probably do a little mini presentation within the next month or 2 on the overall election board manual and what's going to be changed. As far as that goes, nothing else.
Thank you. And there's no VP today, so you guys are stuck with me for the grand finale. Terrific. If you're wondering where he is at the lecture series where I just came from with Robin Chase. For those of you who do not know, she was the CEO of Zipcar, which is an organization that allows people that don't own cars to actually be able to get like a password on their phone to find a car that was already parked there in a reserved spot. They can punch that code in, and it's all based on usage and time. So it's basically like a way to not rent or buy a car, but to have a really cheap car. So I just came from that, so it just buzzed around my head. She's a really vibrant woman that has a lot of excellent business ideas. Looking ahead, as Jared said, Dr. Gaber's inaugural reception dinner is tomorrow night. That is at 7:30, and is definitely not exclusive to student government members. I've sent requests to, I believe, 12 or 14 organizations in person, and I've sent out a mass email, which all presidents of organizations should have received. And just about everyone that I sent the email out personally to sent me back a response saying that they were going to come, or if they couldn't, that they were bringing their organization. So I'm pretty excited about that, actually. We should have a really good turnout from not only student orgs, but from a lot of the general population. So it might be a little last minute to some people, but tomorrow during your classes, if you just want to tell some of your friends to come out, business casual would be desirable, but I put in the email that it's not mandatory. But it'd be showing respect to Dr. Gaber, basically. And the movie on the mall is afterwards taking place in the Centennial Mall. Tamika, do you know what movie that is for Movie on the Mall?
The movie, Furious 7.
Furious 7. Okay, I'll be going to Movie on the Mall. Ian has sent emails to those of you who are interested in the ball run committee. If you signed up and did not get that email, please see me after this meeting because I'll probably forget. That we are planning on meeting Thursday in the office at 5:15. So if anyone didn't join, especially if you're just a new member and weren't able to join, Thursday at 5:15 we'll be meeting there. I'll try to resend that out in an email so we have it in writing. We're just going to discuss kind of our obligations, and we are partnering up with CAP as well as Global Medical Brigades, two other student organizations, to achieve this. So we're going to really go over some of our responsibilities, and hopefully we can get a lot of it settled right then and there. I got Homecoming University covered. Izzy spoke. He was a member of our homecoming committee, which is a relatively new thing where other student organizations get to sit on a chair for the homecoming committee. So it's designed on a collaboration with a lot of student orgs. So that's a pretty exciting development. Sandeep, you went to a few of those meetings as well, didn't you, for homecoming committee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had multiple student government representatives in that committee. And then Sandeep also went to the President's Council on Diversity in my place. And do you have anything to say about that? Or?
Yeah, like we met at Bristol for like 2 hours, and a lot of faculty heads from main campus and UTMC are there as like a council for like helping diversity in the like UT and in faculty. And they gave 2 reports today. Like the social sciences head gave a report about how they implemented like a program for students international that came here. And they took 3 courses in the summer, 60 students, and like their success rate. And then also Dr. Gaber was attending that meeting, and she told us that like she doesn't like it how we have individual heads. She'd rather have like one main objective and everyone works towards that. So they're gonna try to fix that. So that was like basically the whole meeting.
Yeah. And again, thank you for taking that meeting on short notice. That was a huge help to not only me, but our whole organization, so we were able to have a presence on that. For those of you who know Shaylin Shaw, he is the diversity chair that represents not only us, but he oversees Diversity Week, and that will take place in spring semester. If you're interested in participating in Diversity Week, please let me know and I can get you in touch with him. He's very passionate about it. I think he did a great job with it last year. I mentioned in the past, we're going to do things a little differently in regards to legislation. When we pass something, we're going to be held accountable for not only who passed it, but as the rest of the organization needs to know what has happened with that. So far, we have approved of the bylaws, and as of, I believe, a few days ago, I finally made all the changes that were written in red, and that will be able to be converted into a PDF, and Nadine and I will be able to convert those into folders for all the new members and current members to have as references in the future. Also, last week we passed the parking pass, office swipe, and why did I write parking pass? That has nothing to do with swipe access. Swipe access legislation was passed, and I was not able to get the swipe access form on in time because I had quite a few questions that were just answered today, but nevertheless, I have a form that I'd like you guys to all go around and sign. It has your name, your organization position, which for most of you is going to say senator, and you don't really have to mess with that. If you're newly appointed, I'm going to ask that you write your name in. You'll be able to see it when it goes to you, but I obviously haven't written in your names yet because there's some possibility that you wouldn't get in. So write your name in. Go ahead and write appointed senator if you're a new senator. Your rocket number, and that's just for swipe access purposes. I'm not going to find some way to undermine you with it, if that's possible. And then I would also like you to write your committee, because our committee chairs have very small committees right now because they're not totally sure of who's going to be in their committee. Whatever you write down here is not binding. If you don't like the committee, you can switch, but we need a definite answer for today, just so we have enough members to go to the first meeting. So I'll go ahead and pass that around. And if your rocket number is already on here, please verify it. We've had some issues with the previous swipe access form where some people were unable to get swipe access, which is probably due to me not being able to read their handwriting. So if you're writing it, read legibly, and if it's already printed, make sure that it looks good. Yes?
Do all the new members know what each committee does?
Do we need any clarification on what the committees are, you guys? I did run through them during their interviews. If they have any questions, they can always leave it blank and talk to me or the committee heads afterwards. Yes? I just need them to put their name in it and go across the sheet. It's a name, rocket number, position, and committee. Yeah. And I'm almost done, guys. For tabling, raise your hand if you've already participated in tabling. Okay, we have 3 of you guys. I know Sebastian did as well. I applaud you guys, and I'm really glad that you guys took the initiative to go ahead and be the first people to do it and to set the example for people who haven't done it yet. If you haven't done it and you have time to, I'd strongly encourage you to do it. It's a good chance for you to get personal skills as well as to truly establish what the students want. Yes?
And tabling is also a really good opportunity to fulfill your survey requirements for the week. You, as a senator, are required to get 14 survey responses, and I was there for maybe half an hour and got all my responses, so it is a really good opportunity to fulfill that requirement.
Thank you. For those of you who have heard, Don Reiber has passed away, and he was a very influential member of the communications group on Toledo, on campus. I believe he attended every single home game for, was it 30 years? Or I was looking it up, and I didn't truly know him that well until I kind of read into his biography, and he was a very influential member of our campus. For those of you who didn't know, he was also in charge of the classes live streaming us, and I think it's really cool that they're going ahead and doing it. I think they're doing a heck of a job, and I'll find out when I look it up online. And for those of you I've referred this to, you can look up all of our sessions on YouTube. If you look up Utsg, that probably is enough to do it, but you could also type in the date and find it from there. I found one of our previous meetings on there. And if you guys have any feedback for those videos, I'm sure they'd greatly appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. They look pretty professional so far. That might be all I have. Let's see. Yes, I've covered everything on my list, so please do not leave until you finish that, writing down your committee on that form. And if you guys have any questions, come talk to me after the meeting. That's all I have. Yeah. Good call. I don't know why I actually skipped over that. I looked at it twice. I did have Oscar written right on here. So the Oscar is not in our presence today, but that does not mean that the glorious honor is not absent in the room. Emma won it last week, and we usually talk about this at steering, but it's slipped my mind quite a bit. But I will give it to Dakota for the same reason I gave it to Emma, because our secretaries are continuing to do a heck of a job. So congrats, Dakota. A much more democratic, less arbitrary way of deciding the Senator of the Week will be established in the future. With that, that is all I have for my report. All Ian wanted me to mention is the ball run, which I will reciprocate in an email. And with that, I believe we can move into announcements, because we have no new business. Which actually, I have another report on that. I know it's okay that we don't have new business this week, especially because it's inauguration week, and many of you probably have some for midterms, but we can't afford to have week after week with no new business. I would start to urge you guys to start pushing out legislation, especially as your committees meet. If any of you have some great ideas as to legislation but don't know how to format it, let me know. We can work on it. I'm going to put up a few bills or resolutions next week, so we'll definitely have some real reason to be here besides reports and sharing of what we've done for the next meeting. So now we can move into announcements. Do we have any announcements? Yes.
Hi guys, I'm Michael. This Thursday is a Fiji footlong. It's $5 at the door, $4 if you get the ticket from me or other Fiji. It's at the Kyle Mega House. Goes to a really good cause, cancer, kids with cancer, and on the bright side, it's about the only time you're going to see a Fiji with a footlong.
Is that from 10 to 2?
What?
Is that from 10 to 2?
That's from 10 to 2.
Okay.
What?
Are you guys selling tickets in the union?
Yeah, we're selling tickets in the union.
So be on the look for Fiji footlongs. You said us. What day was that?
Thursday.
Thursday, which is the 25th. This Thursday, 25th? Okay. So be on the lookout for that. Any other announcements? Okay. With that, we can do the final roll call.
Cody?
Here.
Ian? Nadine?